Chelsea. How do you approach Todd Bowley's Chelsea? Um, Look, obviously, this is a club that is completely mired and upended in circumstances we've never seen before, where an owner of a club is effectively linked with a warmonger, and is ultimately driven into relinquishing his control of the club, which, in fairness, happened at a much quicker rate than maybe what I would have thought, given the fact of the finances, the particulars of that situation. But without getting too much into that, I think everyone's up to speed with what's happened there. The outgoings are quite extensive. So we've got Antonio Rudiger's off to Real Madrid, Andreas Christensen, who's off to Barcelona. With Danny Drinkwater unattached, his contract goes out. But we also have the likes of David Espeleta's future up in the air. He's off contract. We've Marcus Alonso also linked with Barcelona. As a side note, how Barca are affording all these players is mind-boggling. You really you fear for the financial future and the future in general of that club. But for the moment, they've at the very heart they've got two centre backs to replace. Very strongly linked with Kalidou Koulibaly. We'll see what happens there. But for the moment, they've brought in Raheem Sterling, and I actually think it's a very shrewd signing. I think the rumored fee is around 45 million euro, or 45 million. And realistically, while Raz can play on the right, he can play on the left. Chelsea's best player last year was Mason Mount. Timo Werner, we seen in the last 2 months, he started to show glimpses of the player they look like they brought from RB Leipzig. Kai Havertz is a false nine up top. Uh, really kind of put Lukaku on the bench, put him on the back burner, and Lukaku obviously didn't help himself with a lot of his antics. But for the most part, Sterling's going to be an upgrade on that left wing, particularly over Christian Pulisic and Werner. Whether they trial Werner now as a striker, along with Kai Havertz, they we'll see how that pans out. I'd assume Kai's going to start as a false nine, but Sterling's a good addition on that left wing. And it'd be great to see the type of numbers and what he can do when he's not in a team where he's going to be rotated on a consistent basis. Because while obviously last season he would come up and bang in a hat trick against Norwich, there'll be other parts of the season, large extended parts, where he'd be out of the side. So it's obviously brought to Chelsea. Um, I'm going to give Chelsea a B plus just because I think Sterling is a big improvement over what they've had on that left wing. Thoughts of Mount on the right and Sterling on the left, and whoever's the hot hand out of Havertz and Werner. That could work. That could work. Whether it's enough to challenge for the title, I'm not convinced, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. Where they obviously need to address is defense. Antonio Rudiger, obviously he's one of the defenders best defenders in Europe last year. He's not going to be easily replaced. And similar with Christensen, they obviously still have Thiago Silva, they still have Chalobah, but they need more depth in there. So they need to make a couple of centre back signings, particularly if Azpilicueta's future is going to be up in the air too. So with that said, I'm going to give Chelsea a B as well. I like the signing of Sterling, but there's no point having all these attacking options in the world when half your defense is falling apart.